Welcome, everyone. Excited to be here today. My name is Greg Wesley. I'm one of the senior vice presidents at the Medical College of Wisconsin, and just really deeply humbled by the opportunity that we have today to introduce and launch our brand and name the collaboration that we have. This has been a long and winding journey to our successful launch. None of us would have anticipated that we would be dealing with a global pandemic, an economic crisis, and racial justice issues currently, but we're doing our best to persevere. We're really excited about the opportunity that we have here today, but one of the things that we were able to do is to make sure that our work has been centered with the voice of community and residents. We did that a long time ago, and it's proven to be an absolute smart thing to do, something that has allowed us to be able to persevere and go through this work and keep community connected to our effort. I want to acknowledge key attendees this afternoon. Dr. John Raymond, the President and CEO of the Medical College of Wisconsin. Ellen Gilligan, the President and CEO of the Greater Milwaukee Foundation. Ken Robertson, the Vice President and Chief Financial Officer of the Greater Milwaukee Foundation. Kevin Newell, Principal and President and CEO of Rural Capital Group. Alderwoman Malele Coggs, Community Leader and the Automatic Person for the 6th District. Lenny Mosley, a Community Leader, resident of Halliard Park, and also the President of the Halliard Park Neighborhood Association. Diana McLaurin, Community Member, Community Leader, and resident of the Harambe neighborhood. I'm also told that we're being joined today by the Commissioner of City Development, Lafayette Crump, and welcome, Commissioner Crump. Those are some key attendees. If I've left anybody off, please charge that to me personally and not professionally. I just have my list. So thank you all for being here. I want to just briefly describe the agenda and what we'll do today real quickly. You'll hear from Dr. Raymond and Ellen first. Then you will also receive and hear from a panel. Co-leads of this effort are Ken Robertson, Kevin Newell, and me. You'll briefly hear from all of us. Then I will move to a brand video that will give everyone more context and background about the work that we've been doing. From there, you'll hear from Ken, Kevin, and me again, just some personal observations of the great work that we've been doing, the humility that it has brought to all of us, the gratefulness that it has brought to all of us to be able to contribute to our community in such a substantial way. Then we'll have a community panel that will be led by Ms. Mosley and Ms. McLaurin. And you'll hear from them. And then Ken will wrap up the brand story from there. I would like to just let everyone know that the organizations, the Medical College of Wisconsin, which is our community's preeminent private health science university with a medical school and a pharmacy school and a graduate school, and the Greater Milwaukee Foundation, our community's pillar and philanthropic support for its community, and Rural Capital Group are all centered in our missions that really advance our commitment to community. It's brought us together with this collaboration. It has allowed us to be able to move forward during this incredibly difficult time, and also has allowed us to grow as an institution to learn from what residents of the city of Milwaukee in particular view as deeply important. Now I'd like to be able to turn it over to Ellen Gilligan, the President and CEO of the Greater Milwaukee Foundation, and Dr. John Raymond, President and CEO of the Medical College of Wisconsin. Ellen and John.
Well, technology. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much, Greg, for those opening comments. This, our launch today is such a tremendous milestone, and yet it's really just the beginning of our work together. I'm so grateful to the Medical College of Wisconsin, to the Royal Capital Group, and to our work teams who have been so involved in this project to date. And we are just beginning our work together. I especially want to acknowledge the resident involvement and our partnership with residents all along the way. I also want to acknowledge the times in which we live. And I want to start with just a moment of silence for the lives lost in the last months due to the COVID crisis, and to the lives lost because of police brutality in Milwaukee and across America. So the last 6 months have really shown how important it is for us to work together for racial justice and social change. And for the foundation, this collaboration reflects our generational commitment to advancing racial equity. We also know that together, the Medical College of Wisconsin, the Royal Capital Group, and all of you, we can do so much more than we can do alone. We are truly greater together. And our collaboration is really a transformative opportunity in Milwaukee, a model for fostering an equitable, thriving community. Although our partnership and collaboration is much more than a building, it does include establishing our new headquarters on King Drive, connecting us even closer to the communities we serve. We believe in this collaboration because the community has been involved every step of the way. And the community we are committed to, and as we move forward, we're committed to sharing decision-making. The collaboration and the brand we'll introduce today represents community voices, community priorities, and our long-term commitment. So everyone can thrive. And now I'd like to ask and invite Dr. John Raymond to say a few words. I want to acknowledge and thank John for his vision, his leadership, and his commitment to this collaboration. This effort simply would not be possible without true partnership and collaboration every step of the way. And I look forward to us all working together for the years to come to move this important effort forward. John?
Thanks, Ellen, and thank you so much for your leadership and inspirational vision that we're all working together with to build a healthier Milwaukee. And I also want to thank Greg and all the other speakers here for all the work that they've done to get us to this point. And I totally agree with you, Ellen. It's been a lot of work and a lot of fun to make new friends and build up what we hope is a sustainable partnership that'll be a generational commitment by all of us to each other. But we're at the very beginning of all the things that we can do. And I just want to express my personal enthusiasm for what lies ahead for us, and my gratitude to you, Ellen, for your leadership, to Royal Capital Group, and really to the people in the neighborhood that are going to be our neighbors for the next generation. What I want to also just say is how important it is that we went through this period of listening with Halyard Park, Harambe, Brewers Hill neighborhoods, the people that live and work around us, and the businesses and the people that live along the Martin Luther King Drive corridor. We really all have to work together. And as both Greg and Ellen mentioned, we're in unprecedented times with an economic crisis unlike anything that we experienced since the Great Depression of the 1930s, with a disproportionate impact on people and communities of color, with a COVID-19 pandemic unlike anything since the Spanish flu pandemic over 100 years ago, which also disproportionately and negatively impacts people in communities of color. And then the growing awareness of racial injustice that's contributed to and perpetuated by the institutions that lead our region. And it's caused, I think, all of us to focus inward so that when we look outward and we partner, that we can be the best partners that we can be. And we all know that these three crises, the economic crisis, the health crisis, and racism and justice are intimately intertwined. And so that's why I'm just so very excited to be partnering with these neighborhoods, just 3 blocks from where the Medical College of Wisconsin was founded, with the Greater Milwaukee Foundation, who knows how to partner with neighborhoods to help people make investments in themselves, their neighbors, and their communities, and to make this generational commitment that results in better lives for everyone. So I just want to say that we want to be here, we want to survive and improve, but that is not enough. We need to grow and flourish and thrive, and those are our goals. So let's learn more about the project right now from Greg, Ken Robertson, and Kevin Newell. Thank you so much.
Thank you, John. Welcome to Ken and Kevin. I want to start out by just articulating the vision of our work, which is a Milwaukee that is equitable, healthy, and thriving for all. This journey has given me the opportunity to really go and look at what those words mean and try to live them every day. I've been humbled by the opportunity to hear from community residents of the 3 different neighborhoods and what motivates them for being residents of the city of Milwaukee, what's concerning to them about the city itself, and how we can be good partners in living up to that vision that I've just articulated. So I'm deeply proud of the work that we've been able to do. I echo John's comments about this is just the beginning. I'm appreciative of the opportunity that Ellen has advanced and Ken has advanced on behalf of the foundation. And it has brought a greater sense of purpose to my life and my commitment and responsibility to community. So I'm deeply, deeply appreciative of the opportunity to contribute to the vitality of the city, particularly at this point in time in our history. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Kevin for him to be able to articulate what this opportunity means for him. Kevin?
Thank you, Greg. I usually give Greg a hard time right about now, but I'm going to be nice because we're in public. But
thank you, Kevin.
I would like to start off by saying that I am deeply saddened that we cannot be together today in person. I am also very saddened by the current events that has impacted our community. Not that things are new, but the way that things have been managed from institutional racism side and other that has impacted our community has really brought a time for us all to kind of, dig a little deeper as we try to advance ourselves, advance our communities and other, which makes me so excited about this project. In the midst of all this going on, this project has been something that I personally have found a lot of joy in. And so I'm thankful to the community. I'm thankful to the partners at the table because this has been something that has been a consistent bright spot in the midst of all of the challenges that we're dealing with as a community. This development, I anticipate on behalf of the partnership will be a legacy development that will be a mainstay in the community for many years to come. My job is to speak about the bricks and mortar. My job is to speak about the economic development components and the long-lasting impact that this development should have on our community if we are all strategic and thoughtful about it. But obviously it goes well beyond that. As it translates from just talking about economics to actually talking about to improving people's and families' quality of life. We hope this development will be a significant component of that as we continue to press forward and thrive on. I cannot express to you all enough the importance of ensuring that now is the time to get to the table and express your opinions and thoughts and openly share. And more importantly, as we start talking about the economic development side, I am charging you all and the audience to ensure that this development really ends up having high participation from the Black and Brown community that have been tremendously impacted by the challenges associated with the current events as well as COVID. I want to thank again everybody from the community for their participation at both the city level, the local government level, and in a lot of cases, even the federal level, and my partners for their continued commitment as we continue to press forward and drive on.
Thanks.
Was that good, Greg?
Excellent, Kevin. Thank
Okay,
you.
good.
Thanks, Kevin. I so appreciate your perspective, and as you know, value our partnership. Greg, it goes without saying how much I value your steadfast leadership, and you're not a bad-looking guy either. So I appreciate you being at the table. I believe this is the right project at the right time for our city. You know, every day we see how we're all impacted, and we all are impacted by COVID. But for Black and Brown people, you know, the impact goes so much deeper. You know, it's magnified by the lack of opportunities and resources. Again, not just during this crisis, but this environment has existed for decades in our city. You know, a city that I grew up in, but it's honestly filled with deeply rooted systems that quite honestly limit opportunities for people of color. We, the Greater Milwaukee Foundation, Royal Capital, the Medical College, we're here today to put a stake in the ground. You know, walking alongside the community, we want to use every tool that we can employ to close these opportunity gaps. You know, people of color have persevered in the face of challenging circumstances. But as John said, to survive is not enough. We need to create an environment where we can all thrive. So beyond the big speeches and the big promises, what are we going to do? Well, first of all, we're going to be here. We're committing to be here. Our partnership is generational. You know, we'll be here walking alongside the community, making the investments to create this thriving community or be a part of that effort. How will we get there? Well, we're focusing on 5 areas. Number 1 is housing. And we're going to make available safe and affordable housing. And we're going to keep long-term residents in their homes. We're going to make a significant investment in early childhood education. We are going to increase the number of seats that's available in our community, in our neighborhood, and we're going to improve educational outcomes. We're going to focus on health and wellness. You know, social determinants of health is at the heart of our overall programming, and we're going to invest in wellness facilities and programs that provide healthy lifestyle options. We're going to continue to walk alongside our community. Our goal is not to walk ahead or behind, is that we're going to provide support where needed. We're going to listen, we're going to learn, and we're going to build authentic, true relationships within the community. And finally, we're going to focus on economic opportunities. We will support small businesses. I'll say it again. We will support small businesses. And we're going to work within our community to build wealth, which builds confidence and removes barriers. With that, I'll turn it back over to my esteemed partner, Greg Wesley.
Thank you. Thank you, Ken. I really appreciate that. Kevin, thank you for the kind words as well. What we're going to do now is have an opportunity to introduce the brand, our collaboration, our work together. As I said, I'm really humbled and excited about the opportunity. This brand video will just give you more context into what we have been working on. It's been a long journey, as I said. The opportunity to come up with a name that will be generational, a brand that will be generational, and something that will reflect the collaboration and the work that we've done over time is deeply humbling, and I'm appreciative of the opportunity to be here. So with that, I would ask Jeff and others to introduce the brand video, please.
As a 104-year-old community foundation serving this region, we are committed to the future and a thriving community for all.
I was considering a move into the neighborhood, a move specifically into the neighborhood to get closer to our constituents so that it would inform our overall work. MCW was looking for a way to come into the neighborhood to move in some of its place-based type programming, and our developer, Royal Capital, was looking for partners to help them actually succeed.
You have three unique organizations, all independently serving towards a common mission of racial equity, health equity, and investment equity. But if we look at things that make us more equitable in terms of affordable housing, in terms of access to food, and in terms of overall financial stability, those are areas that we have focused on. When we all came together, we looked at the map and we said, we're all going in the same direction. So let's make this thing a partnership.
We work collectively toward a thriving community by demonstrating holistic investments, centering residents in the solution. So we've had a significant community engagement function to make sure that the work that we're talking about doing is resident informed. So the neighborhoods, Harambe, Elliott Park, Brewers Hill have all been invited to participate in visioning sessions.
And we've been welcomed, and they keep us abreast of what's going on, and that means a lot. I'm excited about the streetscape. If we drive through here and people come through here and they see something beautiful, that's going to entice more people to come to the area, especially now with the bid doing all they can to bring businesses here to King Drive. I think it's going to be a great asset.
The neighborhood where the partnership is located in is one that has a long history of being a home to many African-American businesses, and also Howard Park in particular is a place that was developed by an African-American developer, Beachy Brooks. The homes that are in the neighborhood were funded through a local African-American owned financial institution, with a partnership coming to a underutilized building, activating that building. It's a tremendous boost for the neighborhood.
One thing I know is when people see good things happening, it attracts other good things. So even though the partnership might be focused on certain projects or certain things, I am confident that just by them choosing this neighborhood and choosing here, that others will too. So I look at this as like a beginning of many different opportunities for engagement and for entities to come and pour into this neighborhood.
At MCW, we're committed to investing in people, places, and partnerships. And our partnership with the Greater Milwaukee Foundation, Royal Capital Group, was vitally important. It's been made even more urgent by the confluence of three interrelated crises of the COVID-19 pandemic, the economic challenges brought about by COVID-19, and structural racism. For this to work, our partnership needs to be for the long run. And I'd like to express my gratitude to our work groups who built the foundation for a thriving and essential partnership.
Our partnership is not an initiative. It is not a short-term effort. We are in this for the long haul. We are committed to making systemic, generational change so that everyone can thrive on.
Together, we will thrive on.
Thrive on.
Thrive.
Thrive on.
Together, we can thrive on.
Drive on.
Together, we will thrive on.
Drive on. Kevin?
I'm super excited about the brand launch and all things associated with us actually coming to the neighborhood with this announcement today. As we continue to, look at the efforts and our overall goals, Thrive is something that we all want for these communities that we're a part of. A quick history lesson for myself came about when speaking to my mom the other day. And she said to me, that's a great location you guys are working off of. And something I never told you was the fact that my first job when I came to Milwaukee from Mississippi was actually at that gas station off of 4th and North Avenue. Something I never knew. I knew that we had migrated to this neighborhood from Mississippi when I was, a toddler, but I didn't know the impact that this neighborhood has had on my family and my lineage as we continue to migrate all around Milwaukee. But again, Thrive and thriving on together is something that we hope to be a mainstay, that we hope to be something that we all can own and we all can amplify as we continue to try to improve upon our neighborhoods and make them just even better than they already are. And I'll pass that off to Ken Robertson.
You have to speak up, Ken. Having inability to hear you right now, so hopefully the technical group can work with that. We'll give it a minute.
How's that? Can you?
I can hear you now. Thank you.
Fantastic. So I think the pixie dust and real magic in this collaboration has really been that our community has been at the center of this process. I mean, I think we're well-intended organizations, but good intentions don't necessarily lead to good or great outcomes. To really pull this off, we really need to do this differently. We need to think about our processes differently, and more important, we need to listen. Nothing about this partnership is really transactional. We're really walking alongside the community and our future neighbors to build this collaboration and make it as strong as it needs to be to move our city forward.
Yeah, thanks, Ken. From my viewpoint, as we were going through this entire process and partnering with community and having the visioning sessions and the virtual office hours, I want to give significant acknowledgement to our community engagement leaders, Darlene Russell, Regetta Wilson, Lace, and Braxton, our fellows that have been working on this, Joni Williams, Deb Nevels, all have allowed us to connect with people that we didn't know, but something that came up when we were going through the visioning sessions and virtual office hours and partnering with community, one word that repeatedly came up was the Thrive word. People want to thrive. To John's point, to Ken's point, to Kevin's point, survival is not enough. Survival does not allow you to think long-term. We want to bring inspiration and hope. We want to send the message that thriving is possible. particularly for the African American community and the Latinx community here in Milwaukee. That informed us in coming up with our name, the ThriveOn Collaboration. So that's my personal insight. Again, it's really exciting to be walking along with community, walking along with our partners at the Greater Milwaukee Foundation, and partnering, frankly, with one of the community's preeminent development firms, and a younger generational leader like Kevin Newell. It's almost in some capacity hard to explain the pride that I have, and I'm appreciative that the Medical College of Wisconsin, its leadership, has decided that we could work together. I want to introduce our community panel. We're honored to have Alderwoman Malele Coggs, Lenny Mosley, the president of the Halliard Park Neighborhood Association, and Tiana McLaurin, a community leader in the Harambe area, and also a member of our Community Advisory Council, here to share thoughts about the work that we've done and the work that we want to do. Before we move to that, I want to just reiterate our vision is a Milwaukee that's equitable, healthy, and thriving for all. And with that, hopefully we can bring in Alderwoman Coggs and Ms. Mosley and Ms. Smith. I see Ms. Mosley. Hi, Lenny. Hi, Tiana.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah.
Great. I'm great.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yes, thank you.
Yes.
It looks like we're just waiting for the Alderwoman to come in, and when she comes in, I will get us started.
Okay.
So we're having a little bit of technical difficulty of getting the Alderwoman on the video. So I know that we're on a time schedule. I'll get started, and I'll have confidence that our technical folks will bring the Alderwoman in. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to ask a couple of questions to each person. I'll start with you, Ms. Mosley. And then hopefully we'll have the Alderwoman to come in third.
Very welcome.
So my first guiding question is, the partners committed to community engagement that centered residents' voice in our work, engaging with you and neighbors in the Brewers Hill, Halliard Park, and Harambe neighborhoods has been incredibly rewarding. What does this collaboration mean for you as a neighbor and resident?
Well, to me and to our neighbors, Halliard Park Neighborhood Association, we've spoken about a lot of things, and ThriveOn is really a major comment in itself, a major phrase, ThriveOn. Well, since 1977, when Mr. Beachy Brooks started Halliard Park and built that community with 42 homes. And now that the neighbors there and the residents are aging out, they're dying, and I see a rush of people to, well, they're dying, and we're elderly. What the problem is right now to me is gentrification and the tax assessment from the city of Milwaukee. Some of the taxes are really accelerating too fast. If you have a $10,000 tax bill and you're on a fixed income
the neighbors are saying, and we're all over 70 years old, into our 80s, how can we continue to pay these taxes? And having the Medical College and the Greater Milwaukee Foundation come in and really enhance our neighborhood. And with the home selling at such a huge price, it's $457,000. People are going to be forced out of the neighborhood, and we don't want to go. We want to stay there, and hopefully ThriveOn and keeping us there, and the collaboration between the two. And well, I don't want to leave out Royal Capital. No. Thank you all so much for putting this and coming to the community and making it even a better place. I know it's going to be impressive to so many people to come to our neighborhood and want to be a part of that neighborhood. And I'm not saying that we don't want new neighbors. There should be new neighbors. It should be integration. Like we were just saying, the systemic racism is getting out of hand. Let's come together and be one great neighborhood together. And with the Medical College and the Greater Milwaukee and Royal Capital, and everybody come together, we will stand out in the community. That back in the 60s and 70s, even earlier than that, people had somewhere to go shop. They were proud of the neighborhood. It's a safe neighborhood, and we want to keep it that way. From your partnership, I know we'll thrive on, and we're going to do better. Thank you all for having me.
Thank you, Ms. Mosley. Diana?
Yes, thank you so much for having me. Happy to speak. What does this partnership collaboration mean to me as a neighbor and resident? It means that there is a vested interest from a local organization, a vested interest in building relationships with the community. I've had a lot of experience domestically and internationally doing community work. And what I often tell people is that building the relationship part is very hard, it's very trying, and it takes a lot of work. And so I think because ThriveOn, where you're in it for the long haul, that means that you are actively and genuinely trying to build trust with community. I remember growing up in Harambe and Brewers Hill. I used to live with my grandmother. She lived on Chambers Street, East Chambers Street. Before Brewers Hill was what it is now, my family had an opportunity to live in one of the newer development housing projects when it was ESHAC off of Hubbard Street. And then I also used to live on Vine Street. And so just to see the development throughout the years, leaving the country, coming back, it's just amazing. And so I'm just really excited that there is an organization, there's a collaboration that is really vested in building relationships and trust with the community.
Thank you for that. From a technical standpoint, I just want to advise that I've received a couple of notes from Alderwoman Cogs, and she's being asked to be elevated as a panelist to access the video. So if we could make sure that happens, that'd be fantastic. You know, I don't want us to miss out on an opportunity to hear from the elected leader who we've been working with really, really closely from the very beginning, to have an opportunity to be seen, heard, and valued. Cogs is the name, Malele Cogs. So next, while we're trying to do that, I'm going to move to our second question. And I'll start with you, Ms. McLaurin. What are you most hopeful for as a resident of the Harambe community?
I'm hopeful that this collaboration will start the collective impact that is needed within the neighborhood, that it will start to remedy some of the ills, joblessness, all of those things that we've talked about or that's been addressed thus far. And I'm just hoping that you know, organizations like this collaborative take seriously, you know, rooting themselves in this community and making sure that people are thriving. And so I think that that's where my hope lies. Because again, I've had a lot of experience working in different communities, and I've seen relationships become sour. I've seen residents and community members not believe organizations and what they say they're going to do. And so again, that part is really important, that you have to work at building relationship. Recognize that this isn't new for some residents, and really take that into consideration as you move forward. And so I'm just hopeful that trust can be there, realness, genuineness, all of that can be there, so we can actually move forward, have some type of collective impact, so we can change the trajectory of the neighborhood.
That's fantastic. And you're going to be a member of our Community Advisory Council, correct?
Yes, I'm very happy about that. Yeah.
We get to hear your voice, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. We've been joined by the automatic leader for the district, and so I'm going to do a little bit of out of order. Alderwoman Cogs, Ms. Mosley, I'm going to come back to you with the same question I just advanced to Ms. McLaurin, but before I do that, I'm going to give the Alderwoman an opportunity to answer the first question that you both had an opportunity to answer. Welcome, Alderwoman Cogs. The question I wanted to advance to you is, what does the ThriveOn collaboration mean for you as a resident and neighbor of the area?
You know, I not only have the pleasure of representing this area, but I really am a neighbor. I live off First and Garfield. My husband and I bought a house for the family here. So I truly am 2 blocks away from where you guys are about to locate. It is my hope that what GMF and MCW are able to bring, and all the other collaborators and partners, are, another partner in us fighting for the best quality of life possible for those that live around here. We recognize that in so many silos, people do the work to attempt to improve our conditions and in our community, but the real power is in us collaborating and working together. And I see, all of the entities involved with ThriveOn as partners in the fight for a better neighborhood, a better community, and a better Milwaukee. So I look forward to the support, to the collaborations, and to the great things that I think will come out of the work done through the ThriveOn initiative.
Thank you for that. Ms. Mosley, can you tell me what you're most hopeful for as a resident and a leader, particularly as it relates to Halliard Park?
Well, I'm most looking for the good collaboration between the organizations and with our neighbors and the people to come in the future. I'm sure, and I'm looking forward to working with the 3 or 4 different organizations and informing our neighbors and keeping them abreast of what's going on. If we ever have questions, I do feel that we could come to you and those questions would be answered, or if there's problems, the problems would be solved. But I don't see anything negative happening with the Greater Milwaukee Medical College and Rural Capital and the rest of the people involved. And I have really enjoyed working with you thus far, and I'm sure we'll have a good working relation going forward. ThriveOn is a great catch, and I want one of the t-shirts. So with that, I'm sure to keep the neighbors abreast of what's going on. And if you ever need us, reach out, let us know what the needs are, and we will try to fulfill those needs for you.
Thank you for that, and we look forward to being able to do that.
Yes.
Alderwoman Cox, what are you most hopeful for as a resident of the area, and with this collaboration that we've been able to develop and mold and shape?
I always look for the end game. So what I look most forward to is the impact of all of the work, all the projects, all the great things, and the impact that it has on the neighborhood and on people and on their lives. Sometimes all it takes is to connect people with other good people and resources that they need to help change a life. So I look forward to those stories, those instances, those things we'll be able to see, feel, and touch as a result of the efforts here.
Thank you. So I want to thank you, Alderwoman Coggs, Ms. Mosley. Thank you. It's been a pleasure getting to know you. I look forward to collaborating with you more. Ms. McLaurin, thank you for being here. I know I'll hear from you as well. I know that we look forward to getting the real from the Community Advisory Council. You know, I think we all have gotten to know each other, and one of the best things about it is the ability to speak candidly, respectfully, and in a way that is not just about you, but about others, and bring others to the table. So I'm deeply appreciative of the opportunity, and thank you for being here. And we look forward to working together for many, many, many years to come. With that, I will turn it over to Ken, who will bring us home and wrap up the branding story, and then we'll go to a brief Q&A. Ken?
Great, thank you, Greg. I've been told by several texts that I should smile a little bit more. I am the CFO.
Turn on your video. Your video on.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. Can you guys hear me too?
Yes.
So you get the benefit of looking at my face without the smile. And I get the privilege of kind of bringing us home. You know, we hope that, you know, after hearing from our speakers today, the leadership of the various sponsoring partners, that you feel as connected to the ThriveOn collaboration as we do. We hope and pray that you'll be able to continue to walk with us. And this concludes our formal presentation. I do want to take an opportunity to take any questions or comments, and you can do that by typing in our chat. I'll see if I can pull them up. So any questions or comments before we formally close?
This is Mrs. Mosley. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I would like to say I'm going to have to sign off now.
Okay.
And it has been a pleasure speaking with you and hearing what you have to say. And I appreciate and look forward to the continued work with you guys on ThriveOn. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ms. Mosley.
Okay.
Ken, one question that came up here is, how will you provide assistance to long-term residents in the community, and particularly as it relates to housing?
So a few things. One is, I would encourage all of our residents to stay directly connected with our neighborhood engagement team. As you know, we've made a significant investment in actually embedding a team in our neighborhood that can give us kind of real-time feedback on what the neighborhood is thinking, what support is actually needed. So I would encourage them. I think at the end of the presentation, I'll share kind of a new URL for them to connect directly with us. I would encourage our neighbors, our residents, to stay in contact with us there. In terms of the specific question around, and I think I mentioned this in housing, our plan is to be additive to the equation. So to be additive to the residential piece. And, we're focusing specifically on keeping homeowners in their housing. And we're doing that in partnership with the city. So a lot to be said on kind of how that program is working. It's actually going to be administered by the city. It's going to be, one of the impacts of doing this the right way is that, from a housing perspective, it tends to lead to an appreciation of housing, which, quite honestly, can lead to appreciation of taxes involved. We know that We're out front of that, and we're working with the city and other stakeholders to mitigate that, to reduce that impact, to make sure folks can stay in their homes. All right.
Ken, can you still hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Okay, great.
Did you have another question?
One other question was maybe if you could elaborate how we plan to invest in early childhood education would be great as well.
Yeah, and I'll go back to the theme of being additive again on this. Our plan is to work within the building that we've talked about to increase, to bring about kind of an early childhood education program that's very high quality. But at the same time, we know that there's operators that's in the neighborhood right now, and operators that could use our support and use the investment of our organizations to build stronger programs and increase capacity in their operations. So we're walking down both paths. We're looking at building something specifically in our building, and we're looking at propping up the existing infrastructure or supporting the infrastructure within our neighborhoods.
Great. That's outstanding. Let me see if we have, I think we probably have time for at least one more question in the chat. I've seen one question and you've answered that. I'm going to see if there are any more. I don't see any more questions. I'm in a different chat room here. Let me pull up here. A question that's come, and this was more directly related to Kevin. I'm not sure if we can pull him back in or not. Hopefully we can. Can you provide an update on when the building will open and where the construction and development is located? I can answer the question about the location. It's the former Gimbel Schuster's building, but we have Kevin on so we can get more detail about the construction timeline, the historic nature of the building, and some of the other details associated with such. Kevin?
Hey, Greg. So, we're looking to begin construction this fall. We're marching down that critical path now, and I feel very good about it. My teammate Terrell Walter has really been, the lead on the project on that side, and I'm reminded every day of the hard work that's going on over there. And we look forward to further engaging the community in ways that others can get involved and participate with with the overall redevelopment of the building into the home of ThriveOn. We anticipate that we'll have full occupancy with all users in the first quarter of 2022, hopefully January of 2022. Continue to ask the questions of how you all can get involved. Continue to ask any questions related to the development that we can assist with. I think Ken had already mentioned the URL, but by all means, feel free to reach out if you have any other pressing questions. As relates to the historic nature of the building, we will be maintaining historical significance. I would assume that once we get a little bit further down the critical path on some of this stuff, that we'll be able to do a showcase that will outline and show you all what's been, how we all have been inspired by what's the historical nature, about how we've been inspired related to the historical nature of the building, and how we want to restore some of that into our current and existing modern footprint. So always available for any questions related to that.
Thank you, Kevin. And you mentioned it's ThriveOnCollaboration.org is the URL. I'm going to take a little bit of liberty and just maybe try to squeeze in one additional question before letting Ken close us out with the video. And that is one of us, Ken, I'm going to ask you to take it to speak toward our programming that would focus on food and nutrition. If you could do that, that'd be fantastic. I'll just say that we intentionally looked at the area. We knew initially that it was a food desert. It's no longer a food desert with Pete's Fruit Market being there, but We know that healthy food is a significant access to healthy food, and consumption of healthy food is a significant contributor to health. And so that is going to be a focus of ours. And maybe if you can speak to that just a little bit, Ken, about some of the work that the work groups have been doing around nutrition and food.
Yeah, I'll just kind of quickly get at that. I would tell you, similar to what we've talked about from an early childhood education perspective, we're planning on walking down two roads here. We plan on going to talk a lot about the first floor, the specifics around the first floor. We plan on investing from a facilities perspective in operators that can provide that sort of support. But at the same time, when we want to really make this additive, and there's an opportunity for us to invest in operators that already exist in the neighborhoods, and operators where perhaps we walking alongside of the neighbors can influence some of the healthy food type options that come out of existing operators and provide support there. So we're gonna walk and chew gum. At the same time, we're gonna make new investments in the overall building. At the same time, we're gonna provide support for operators that exist in the neighborhood right now.
Ken, take us home.
All right. Well, so aren't we great partners? You guys see how we balance that between Kevin, Greg, and myself. Greg is normally orchestrating,
Absolutely.
So there's a smile. So thanks a lot. Thanks especially to the speakers and panelists today. Greg, Dr. Raymond, my boss, Alan Gilligan, Kevin Newell, Alderman Cogs, Lenny Mosley, and Tiana McLaurin. And I want to most importantly thank you who's out there listening to us, the community. I've given you guys, there's a way for you guys to contact us directly. We have a brand new URL, and it's thriveoncollaboration.org. So don't hesitate to please check there. I will tell you that there's some exciting news that's coming down the pike. So please stay tuned, please stay connected to that URL. That'll be news that's coming over the next few weeks. And I guess I will end with, again, thanking you and hoping that you all have a great afternoon. Thrive on.
Thrive on.
Thrive on.
You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise like the day. I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. The silence is quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Move mountains, bring it to its feet. Move but that we have each other. And we will rise, we will rise, we will rise. Oh, we'll rise. I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up in spite of the ache. I will rise 1,000 times.